So I've been in the online business space now for over 8 years, and I've seen people start working on digital products or the idea of a digital product, but never actually launching it. The reason isn't a lack of skills or resources, it's actually their mindset. Most aspiring digital product business owners get trapped in limiting beliefs that stop them from ever taking the first crucial step. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 mindset traps that are stopping you from being successful and what you can do to overcome them. Hey guys, my name is Dawn Marie and I'm here on YouTube documenting my journey of starting a digital product business from scratch, mainly ebooks and templates, and I want to take you along with me and show you behind the scenes of what I'm getting up to and what that looks like. I'm also sharing what's working for me that maybe you can try in your own business to sell your own digital info products. Plus, I break down my marketing strategies and give you helpful tips and ideas. So if you'd like to join me, I hope you'll stick around and consider subscribing to the channel. Now, the first limiting belief that people often tell themselves, and I see this all the time, is that they can't start until everything is perfect. Many aspiring digital entrepreneurs fall into the trap of thinking that they need to have everything perfectly in place before they can launch. They believe that they need the perfect website, the perfect business name, a polished logo, and a professional email address. I mean, this belief can be so paralyzing because it creates endless to-do lists and excuses for not taking action. The truth is, perfection is really the enemy of progress, especially in the digital product business. But the reality is you don't need all of these polished elements to start making sales or to build a successful business. In fact, many successful entrepreneurs, including myself, started with much less. So I made my first affiliate sale by sending people to a simple one-page landing page. I didn't have a fancy website. I didn't have a big social media following or even my own product. Instead, I just focused on providing value and connecting with my audience to a product that could genuinely help them, and the results spoke for themselves. So if you think that you cannot launch your digital product business until you have all your ducks in a row, then here's how you can switch this mindset. So focus on value, not perfection, right? Your audience really cares more about the value that you provide than how perfect your branding might be. So instead of spending weeks or months on a website or logo, focus on creating content or a simple offer that solves a real problem for your audience. And also, don't be afraid to start with what you have. Use simple tools that get the job done. So you don't need a full-fledged website to make your first sale. A checkout page or even a basic landing page with a clear value proposition is really enough to get started. So remember, you can always refine these things and improve as you go along. So the sooner you launch, the sooner you'll get feedback from your audience and learning what works and what doesn't. So let go of the need for perfection and focus on providing value, and you'll then break free from these limiting beliefs and set yourself on a path of at least making progress. Okay, the next limiting belief that people tell themselves is, I am not an expert, so I can't sell info products. I mean, many people believe that they need to be recognized experts in their industry before they can start selling. So they think that without years of experience, certifications, or a large following, no one will want to learn from them. But this belief can actually stop you from ever launching because you feel that you're not qualified enough to teach others. But the truth is, you don't really need to be a top expert to provide value to others. In fact, you only really need to be one step ahead of your audience. So if you solve the problem or you've learned something that can make someone else's life easier, then you have valuable knowledge to share. I mean, there are so many people out there looking for guidance on topics you have already mastered, even if you don't consider yourself an expert. So here's what I would like you to do to overcome this belief. Embrace your own expertise. Understand that your experiences and the lessons you've learned are very valuable. People often connect more with someone who is just a few steps ahead of them because they can relate to their own journey. So you don't need to know everything. So you just need to have enough to help someone with their next step. So shift your mindset as well from I'm not an expert to how can I be of help? So by focusing on the value you can offer, you'll build confidence that way in your ability to create content that genuinely helps people. So I want you to remember one thing, that your audience, they are looking for solutions. They're not looking for perfections. And again, just begin by sharing your own knowledge through smaller, more accessible formats like blog posts, maybe social media content, a simple ebook. And as you get feedback and you see the impact that you're starting to make, your confidence will grow, and so will your audience's trust in you. Okay, so the third limiting belief that aspiring digital product creators think that they need to have is a digital product that is fully developed, polished, and perfect before they can offer it to the public. I mean, they believe that every feature, lesson, module, or content needs to be finalized. They often feel that if they launch too soon, it will result in a poor reception and dissatisfied customers. But I want to tell you a secret. There are digital products that I have sold without even having created the content for it. There are even digital products where I partially created it, and then once I knew that people were interested in it, I developed it further to the point where it became a complete product after I made sales. So I'm sharing this with you just so you can get insights into the possibilities. You don't need a finished product to start making sales. You can launch your business with what I refer to as a minimum viable product. I've spoken about this in previous videos before. Or you can even pre-sell a digital product, which is typically what I do. So by releasing just a basic version of the product, or by offering it for sale where customers buy the product before it is complete, of course you can gauge interest and gather feedback from them and then make necessary adjustments based on your customers' feedback. Now, when you're pre-selling a product, obviously you want to tell your audience that the product isn't sold just yet, but you are pre-selling it just to see what the interest might be like, and then you will work on the content to deliver it at a later stage. I think when you do it this way, this approach, it not only saves time, but it also reduces the risk of creating something that your audience doesn't actually want. So now that you know this, I want you to focus on creating the core part of your product that provides the most value. So this could be an initial module of a course, it could be a basic version of a template, or an early draft of an ebook. So you want to launch with this version to start generating interest and sales, and then continue to develop the product based on customer feedback. Okay, so the other limiting belief that people have that keep them from getting started or being successful is the market is way too saturated for me. I mean, some people believe that the digital product market, especially in popular niches, is too crowded with similar offers. So they think that there's no room for them to compete or stand out, and that they'll struggle to get noticed amongst established creators and influencers. So I agree that competition might be fierce, but I think that a saturated market is actually a good sign. So it means that there is a strong demand for a specific product. So I think what's better, and the way that you can frame this, is you can use your unique perspective, experience, and approach, which will help set you apart. So even in a crowded market, there are always gaps and niches that are underserved. And your unique voice or way of delivering value can resonate with a specific segment of the audience. So for example, digital products is a very competitive niche. I mean, there are so many people who are teaching how to create digital products and digital product marketing, and how people can make huge sums of money from it, which I consider to be hype and unrealistic. But I have recognized that there is a smaller segment of the market that care about making just a few hundreds or thousands of dollars in sales. So they're not ready yet for the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. So my approach is to be more realistic, to attract people who have smaller goals. So if you have this belief that you can't stand out, here's how to overcome this belief. Think about what makes your perspective or approach unique. So this could be your personal story. It could be the way you deliver content. It could be your specific expertise, or even the niche audience that you target. So you want to really focus on those differentiators in your marketing to attract an audience that resonates with your unique style or message. Also, instead of trying to appeal to a broad audience, narrow your focus to a specific niche within the market. And by addressing the specific needs of that smaller targeted group, you can become the go-to expert for that audience, even in a crowded marketplace. And finally, remember that people don't just buy products, they buy from people that they trust. So start building a personal brand that reflects your values, your personality, and your unique approach. I think doing it in that way will help you connect with your audience on a much deeper level, making them more likely to choose you over a generic competitor. Okay, and the final limiting belief that people have is that they think they need a huge social media following or a huge email list or well-established online presence before they can successfully launch and sell their digital products. They believe that without a large audience, their product will get unnoticed and they won't make any sales. But I am probably the best example of this. I made over $2,000 from a list of just 200 email subscribers when I launched my first ebook. So that goes to show that you really don't need a massive audience to start making sales. You just need an engaged and targeted audience that trusts you and values your content, and that can be much more effective than a larger unengaged one. So even with a small group of followers, you can achieve significant success if you offer a product that meets their needs and you build a strong relationship with them. So I want you to overcome this belief by focusing on nurturing the audience that you already have, no matter how small. So engage with them directly, ask them questions, involve them in your product development, build strong relationships and trust with them, even with a small audience. And I think that can lead to meaningful sales. Remember, starting a digital product business isn't about having everything in place or waiting until you're an expert with a massive audience. It's about really taking that first step, even when things are imperfect, and learning as you go. These mindset traps that I've talked about today, they're just that. So they hold you back from taking action and realizing your potential. But the truth is, you already have what it takes to get started. Whether it's launching with a simple minimum viable product, finding your unique voice in a crowded market, or engaging a small but passionate group of people, the key is just to start now, right? So don't let these limiting beliefs keep you from sharing your value with the world. I really hope this video resonates with you, and I'd love to hear about your experiences and what you're planning to do next. So leave a comment below and let's continue the conversation. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this, and also subscribe to learn more from me about building a successful, genuine, and realistic digital product business. Until next time, take action, stay focused, and keep moving forward. Bye guys.